Every morning, there's a choice you don't even realize you're making. The alarm rings, the world pulls at you, emails, notifications, endless noise. Most people surrender in seconds, handing over their clarity before the day even begins. But hidden in that fragile space between sleep and wakefulness lies something powerful, a doorway the ancients knew well. The greatest Stoic minds built their mornings on it. 7 timeless rituals designed to sharpen your focus, steel your spirit, and anchor you in unshakable calm. What if your mornings weren't a battle against chaos, but a blueprint for strength? The Stoics understood something that most of us forget. Mornings set the tone of the entire day. They believed that the first thoughts you allow into your mind shape the entire direction of your life. That's why they began their mornings with intentional practices, rituals designed to remind them of what truly matters. These are not abstract ideas meant only for dusty books. They are practical, powerful, and still as alive today as they were 2,000 years ago. The first ritual is reflection. Before Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, rose to face the duties of ruling an empire, he reminded himself of one thing. Today he would encounter selfishness, ignorance, arrogance, and even hostility. Not because the world was broken, but because human nature is flawed. By remembering this truth in the quiet of the morning, he armed himself against disappointment. Reflection is not brooding. It is clear-eyed preparation. When you wake, ask yourself, what kind of day am I stepping into? What challenges will I face? And how do I choose to meet them? This act turns your mind into a shield, ready for reality instead of clinging to illusions. The second ritual is gratitude. To the Stoics, life itself was a gift, not something owed. Seneca often wrote about the brevity of life, reminding us that every morning we wake is a stroke of fortune. To practice gratitude, the Stoic way is not to write a long list of things you like, but to simply recognize the miracle of waking up. To open your eyes, breathe, and see the sun rise is enough. Instead of thinking about what's missing, you acknowledge what already is. This small shift has the power to dissolve anxiety and open the day with a sense of abundance. The third ritual is intentional breathing and presence. Epictetus, once a slave who became one of the greatest teachers of philosophy, said that freedom begins in the mind, and nothing brings the mind back to freedom faster than the breath. In the morning, before you rush to tasks, simply breathe deeply. Inhale and exhale with awareness. You're not just pulling in air, you're reminding yourself of control. The world may spiral into chaos, but here in your lungs is proof of life, proof of rhythm, proof of calm. Even 1 or 2 minutes of intentional breathing can anchor your mind in clarity before stepping into the day's noise. The fourth ritual is setting intention. The Stoics believed in living by reason and principle, not impulse. They knew that if you don't choose how to live, the world will choose for you. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that life should be aligned with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. In the morning, ask yourself, what virtue will guide me today? What do I want my actions to reflect? Instead of vague goals like be productive, the Stoic intention is about character. Will I act with patience? Will I meet difficulties with courage? Will I treat others with fairness? One small intention in the morning can reshape every choice you make throughout the day. The fifth ritual is the visualization of adversity. To many, this might sound pessimistic, but the Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They did not imagine misfortune to become fearful, but to become unshakable. A Stoic might wake and think, "Today I may lose my temper, or lose an opportunity, or lose someone I love." Instead of despairing, they use this practice to soften attachment and strengthen resilience. When adversity does arrive, it no longer surprises them. It feels as if they've rehearsed for the stage of life. This morning ritual transforms fear into readiness, fragility into fortitude. These 5 rituals already carry immense weight, yet they are only part of the Stoic morning. Together, they weave clarity into the mind, discipline into the spirit, and calm into the body. Imagine starting your day not with frantic rushing, but with a quiet armor of reflection, gratitude, breath, intention, and resilience. You step into the world not as a victim of circumstance, but as a deliberate participant in life's unfolding. But there are still 2 more rituals, equally vital, that complete the Stoic blueprint for morning clarity. Without them, the practice is incomplete, like a bridge left half built. And it is these final practices that truly transform the morning from ordinary to extraordinary. The 6th ritual is the practice of mindful detachment. In the modern world, our mornings are often stolen by the glowing screen, by endless notifications, and by news that overwhelms the mind before it has a chance to settle. The Stoics knew nothing of smartphones, yet they warned about the danger of mental clutter. Epictetus once said that the man who is enslaved to external things can never be free. To reclaim freedom, the Stoic morning includes a moment of detachment. Instead of rushing into the noise of the day, take a pause. Step outside, breathe in the air, and look at the sky before you look at a screen. This act is not about denial of the world, but about gaining sovereignty over your attention. The mind, once scattered, loses its power, but the mind, when focused, can move mountains. Each morning you choose. Will you be a captive of distractions or a master of your focus? By practicing detachment, you choose mastery. The 7th ritual is the commitment to purposeful action. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, "At dawn, when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to do the work of a human being." The Stoics did not separate philosophy from life. To them, philosophy was life. A morning without action is a morning half-lived. Purposeful action does not need to be grand. It may be a single meaningful task, writing a page, practicing gratitude, reaching out to someone in need, or simply performing your duty with excellence. The ritual is not about productivity for its own sake, but about aligning yourself with virtue. To live according to nature, to live in harmony with reason, is to act with integrity. The day will tempt you with countless diversions, but this first act grounds you. It declares to the world, "I am not here to drift, but to steer." The Stoic morning begins not only with thought, but with deed. As the morning rituals unfold, they weave together like threads in a tapestry. Silence strengthens reflection. Gratitude lifts the heart. Journaling clears the mind. Cold exposure awakens courage. Visualization steels resilience. Detachment restores focus. Purposeful action anchors direction. Together, they form a shield against the chaos of life, not by denying its storms, but by preparing the soul to weather them. The Stoic morning is not an escape from reality. It is a preparation to meet reality with clarity, courage, and calm. Perhaps you already practice one of these rituals without realizing it. Perhaps you resist them, thinking they are too simple, too small to change your life. But consider this. Mountains are shaped by steady winds, and oceans are carved by patient rivers. What you repeat each morning defines who you become. These rituals are not about perfection, but about orientation. Each day you turn yourself, like a compass, toward virtue. And when the storms come, as they always do, you will not be lost. So I ask you, which of these stoic rituals speaks to you most? Which will you bring into your mornings to anchor your mind in clarity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, clarity is not found in a single morning, but cultivated across many mornings, patiently and consistently. A Stoic does not expect immediate transformation. He trusts that small disciplines shape great character. You too can trust this. Begin with one ritual, then another, until your mornings become a sanctuary of strength. And as you step into tomorrow, let these words guide you. The morning is not something to survive, but something to shape. Shape it with wisdom, shape it with courage, shape it with calm. Because the way you greet the morning is the way you greet life. If this message has inspired you, if it has planted even one seed of reflection, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Together, we can explore the timeless wisdom that makes life not just bearable, but meaningful.